Top 10 Most Dangerous Terrorists Groups in the World. Terrorism is the unlawful use of force or violence against persons or property to intimidate or coerce a government or its citizens to further certain political or social objectives. Law enforcement generally recognizes two types of terrorism: domestic and international. Domestic terrorism is based and executed in the United States by its own citizens without foreign direction. International terrorism, which is connected to foreign governments or groups, transcends the nation's boundaries. Terrorist acts against U.S. citizens can occur anywhere in the world. At first glance, the pure number of cases in the terrorism database suggests a massive increase in global terrorism. In 2016 alone, there were about 4 times as many incidents worldwide as in the years before 2013, and the number of registered deaths has even increased about 6 times in the last 10 years. However, this is not due to an increased willingness to terrorize, but predominantly to the much more efficient procurement of information nowadays. So 20 years ago, smaller acts of terrorism were not as well known or researchable as they are today. We will be taking a look at the top 10 terrorist groups that exist in the world today. At number 10, we have LASHKAR-E JHANGVI, commonly known as the LASH, a Deobandi Sunni supremacist and jihadist militant organization based in Afghanistan. The organization operates in Pakistan and Afghanistan and is an offshoot of anti-Shia party Sipah-e-Sahaba Pakistan. It was founded by former SSP activists Riaz Basra, Malik Ishaq, Akram Lahari, and Ghulam Rasul Shah. The LASH has claimed responsibility for various mass casualty attacks against the Shia community in Pakistan, including multiple bombings that killed over 200 Hazara Shias in Quetta in 2013. It has also been linked to the Mamanpura graveyard attack in 1998, the abduction of Daniel Pearl in 2002, and the attack on the Sri Lankan cricket team in Lahore in 2009. A predominantly Punjabi group, the LASH has been labeled by Pakistani intelligence officials as one of the country's most virulent terrorist organizations. It was banned by Pakistan in August 2001. But it remains active and has been designated as a terrorist organization by Australia, Canada, Pakistan, United Kingdom, United States, and the United Nations. Overall, the group has been involved in 69 attacks, resulting in over 2,500 casualties. Number 9. The Fulani extremists. Ethnic conflicts involving the Fulani people have been occurring in West Africa, primarily in Nigeria, but also in Mali, Cameroon, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the Central African Republic, due to conflicts over land and culture. The death count for each attack is small, although the cumulative death count is in the thousands. Due to population growth and desertification, Fulani nomads have to move south towards more fertile lands to graze their herds. This created conflicts with the farmers. This resulting violence left a death toll of over 10,000. The Fulani herdsmen are seen by those who don't know them as almost exclusively Muslims, while the farmers in Middle Belt are almost all Christians. However, the true picture is the herdsmen only care about their animals as the conflict occur even between them and the Hausa farmers. Both sides suffer in what either party terms as ethnic cleansing. Throughout their operations, they have been involved in over 200 attacks, resulting in over 1,300 casualties. Number 8. Al-Nusra Front. The Al-Nusra Front was a Salafist jihadist terrorist organization fighting against Syrian government forces in the Syrian civil war. Its aim was to establish an Islamic State in the country. The group has changed its name several times and merged with and separated from other groups. It was declared a terrorist organization and blacklisted by the U.S. State Department last December because of its links to AL-QAEDA. The group captured the attention of the international community after carrying out a series of sophisticated suicide attacks on government targets inside Damascus and has gained widespread prominence within and beyond Syria because it engages regime targets directly, conducting small arms ambushes and assaults on isolated army outposts. The organization is now at the forefront of the most successful rebel attacks in the field as the Syria conflict enters its 3rd year. It has been involved in almost 200 terrorist attacks, and this has resulted in over 4,000 casualties due to deaths, injuries and hostages. At number 7, we have Al-QAEDA. The Al-QAEDA is a broad-based militant Islamist organization founded by Osama bin Laden in the late 1980s. It began as a logistical network to support Muslims fighting against the Soviet Union during the Afghan War. Members were recruited throughout the Islamic world. When the Soviets withdrew from Afghanistan in 1989, the organization dispersed, but continued to oppose what its leaders considered corrupt Islamic regimes and foreign presence in Islamic lands, for example the United States. Based in Sudan for a period in the early 1990s, the group eventually re-established its headquarters in Afghanistan in 1996 under the patronage of the Taliban militia. It has trained tens of thousands in paramilitary skills, and its agents engaged in numerous terrorist attacks, including the destruction of the U.S. embassies in Nairobi, Kenya, and Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, 1998, and a suicide bomb attack against a U.S. warship in the year 2000. It was also the group involved in the September 11 attacks against the United States. Within weeks, the U.S. government responded by attacking Taliban and Al-QAEDA forces in Afghanistan. Thousands of militants were killed or captured, while most of the others went into hiding. Over the last decade, the group has seen a massive decline, but it's still amongst the top terrorist groups in the world. Coming in 6th, we have the Maoists group. A group founded from the ideologies of Mao Zedong, which we've come to know as Maoism. It was the political and military ideology of the Chinese Communist Party and of Maoist revolutionary movements throughout the world. After the Sino-Soviet split of the 1960s, the Chinese Communist Party and the Communist Party of the Soviet Union each claimed to be the sole heir and successor to Joseph Stalin concerning the correct interpretation of Marxism-Leninism and ideological leader of communism. The U.S. State Department's Country Report on Terrorism 2018 termed the group as the 6th deadliest terror groups in the world, said to be the worst kind of insurgency the world is facing. The report placed the group after global terror outfits like Taliban, ISIS, Africa's based Al-SHABAB and Boko Haram, and the Communist Party of Philippines. They have been involved in over 1,000 attacks, and this has resulted in about 3,000 casualties. They are reported to have killed 2,799 security forces personnel in the period between 1999 and 2019, or an average annual killing of 132 security forces personnel. In 5th position, we have Boko Haram. It is a terrorist organization based in northeastern Nigeria, which is also active in Chad, Niger, and northern Cameroon. In 2016, the group split, resulting in the emergence of a hostile faction known as the Islamic State's West Africa province. After its founding in 2002, Boko Haram's increasing radicalization led to the suppression operation by the Nigerian military and the killing of its leader Muhammad Yusuf in July 2009. Its unexpected resurgence, following a mass prison break in September 2010 in Bauchi, was accompanied by increasingly sophisticated attacks, initially against soft targets, but progressing in 2011 to include suicide bombings of police buildings and the United Nations office in Abuja. The government's establishment of a state of emergency at the beginning of 2012, extended in the following year to cover the entire northeast of Nigeria, led to an increase in both security force abuses and militant attacks. Since 2011, it has conducted terrorist attacks on religious and political groups, local police, and the military, as well as indiscriminately attacking civilians in busy markets and villages. The kidnapping of over 200 girls from their school in April 2014 drew international attention to the ongoing threat from Boko Haram and the government's inability to contain it. Following negotiations between Boko Haram and the Nigerian government, brokered by the International Committee for the Red Cross, 103 girls have since been released. Number 4. The Al-JAMAAT NUSRAT. A militant jihadist organization in the Maghreb and West Africa formed by the merger of Ansar Dine, the Makina Liberation Front, Al-Murabitan and the Saharan branch of Al-QAEDA in the Islamic Maghreb. It is the official branch of Al-QAEDA in Mali, after its leaders swore allegiance to Ayman al-Zawahiri. Since its emergence in 2017, the group has expanded across West Africa, while committing acts of violence against civilians, local security forces, and counter-terrorism operations, comprising of international militaries and UN peacekeepers. It is said to be the fastest-growing terrorist group and was responsible for 351 deaths in 2021, a 69% increase. Of the 4 deadliest terrorist groups in 2021, only it recorded an increase in the level of terrorism incidents over the prior year. Coming in third, Al-Shabab. The extremist militant group Al-Shabab emerged in 2006. It is an affiliate of Al-QAEDA, and while its main area of operations is Somalia, it has also carried out attacks in Ethiopia, Kenya and Uganda. Al-Shabab was the deadliest terror group in sub-Saharan Africa in 2017, being responsible for 1,457 deaths, a rise of 93% on the year before. 2/3 of the deaths were in the Somali capital Mogadishu. The worst incident was in October 2017, when 588 people were killed and 316 injured in an explosion outside the Safari Hotel in the Hodan area of the city. Many of the countries worst affected by terrorism have seen a decline in the number of deaths over recent years, including Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Nigeria and Pakistan. Somalia, however, has been an unfortunate exception to that trend due to the actions of Al-Shabab. There have been almost 6,000 deaths from terrorism in the country since 2001, making it one of the most deadly terrorist groups in the world today. At number 2, we have the Taliban Group. An Afghanistan-based group, which has been waging a war of attrition with the US-backed coalition since 2001 and has proven remarkably resilient. As of mid-2017, it controlled an estimated 11% of the country and was contesting a further 29% of Afghanistan's 398 districts. It is active in 70% of Afghanistan's provinces. In 2017, Taliban forces were responsible for 699 attacks, causing 3,571 deaths, with armed assaults and bombings the most common form of attack. In addition, its affiliate in neighboring Pakistan, Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan, was responsible for a further 56 attacks and 233 deaths. The Taliban's actions have become more deadly in the past year, killing an average of 5.1 people per attack in 2017, up from 4.2 people the year before. The group has adjusted its tactics in recent years, switching its focus away from attacks on civilian targets and towards police and military personnel. The Taliban killed 2,419 police and military personnel in 2017, up from 1,782 the year before. The number of attacks on such targets also increased from 369 in 2016 to 386 in 2017. At the same time, the number of civilian deaths caused by the Taliban fell to 548 in 2017, compared to 1,223 in 2016. Coming in first, the Islamic State. It is an Islamist militant jihadist group and former unrecognized quasi-state that follows a Salafi jihadist doctrine based on the Sunni branch of Islam. It was founded by Abu Musab al-Zarqawi in 1999 and gained global prominence in 2014 when it drove Iraqi security forces out of key cities during the Anbar campaign, which was followed by its capture of Mosul and the Sinjar massacre. Islamic State and its affiliate groups, the Khorasan Province, the Sinai Province and the Islamic State West Africa, recorded the most attacks and deaths of any terrorist group in 2021. Islamic State deaths represented 29% of all deaths from terrorism globally in 2021. Despite this, its attacks fell from 837 in 2020 to 794 in 2021, a decrease of 5%. Deaths as a result of its attacks mirrored this trend, declining almost 2% between 2020 and 2021. It recorded attacks in 21 countries in 2021, compared with 30 in 2020. In 2021, its attacks occurred in every region in the world apart from North America and Russia and Eurasia. The deadliest attack of 2021 occurred when an Islamic State suicide bomber detonated 2 suicide bombs at Afghanistan's Kabul International Airport, resulting in 170 deaths and over 200 injuries. And these are the top 10 most deadly terrorist groups that exist in the world today. But what are your thoughts on this? Make sure to leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching. And see you next time.